Okay, ghouls and duelists, this is Scarlet Farron doing a Halloween special of my Ghostrick deck profile. So let's begin with the monsters. First, 2 skeletons, because I run the lockdown build and the mill build in this deck. So skeletons are crucial for the mill part, because they can banish one card from your opponent's deck for each Ghostrick monster you have. That's Ghostrick monster you have on the field. When skeleton is flipped, and they're banished face down, which can mess a whole load of your opponents up, especially stuff like ritual beasts. So great card. 2, because while it's a great card, I don't want to clog up, and I also need space for other cards. Next is 1 Yukiona. I run 1 Yukiona because while she is a great card, she's not entirely needed. But she's still a great card for shutting down one of your opponent's monsters, because if she's destroyed by battle by opponent's monster, that monster gets flipped face down permanently. So it could be good in messing up your opponent's harder to get rid of monsters, or just a powerful monster in general. Next is 2 Witches, because Witch is once per turn you can select one of your opponent's monsters and flip them face down defense position. Great when used in conjunction with Ghostrick Knight or Ghostrick Doll, that sort of stuff, or Nekamusume. So great card. And next is the Doll in question, which can, while it is flipped at the end phase, which activates Amber Souls, so hard to negate, it will flip face down defense position all available monsters on the field that could be classed as appropriate targets. And for every one of those that are flipped face down, you get to special summon 1 Ghostrick monster. No, you get to special summon face down defense position 1 Ghostrick monster with stars equal to or less than the number of monsters flipped face down. So integral for the lockdown build. Then we have 2 Nekamusumes, which can be annoying, which is annoying despite her cuteness, because when she's on the field and there's a face-up Ghostrick monster on the field as well, if your opponent were to normal or special summon 1 level 4 and lower monster, then that monster will be put in face-down defense position. So very crucial for the lockdown build, because it can mess up your opponent a lot. 3 Lanterns, because Lantern is the best, in my opinion, the best hand trap in this deck, because it can negate the attack of your opponent's monster and special summon it in face down defense, and there's no limit to how many times you can use it, except for free, obviously. And then free, you know what I mean, free because you can use free in a deck. But it also can be good for getting an easy Doulahan out, which I'll explain later. Then 2 Jack Frost, because Jack Frost, in my opinion, is the second best hand trap. Because it flips the attacking monster into face down defense position as well. So very great card. And then again you can also use it for easy getting out of Doulahan. Next, 2 Steins, because Stein is the heavy hitter and the only one you're generally going to attack with apart from the Exceeds. But mostly to do that you will combine it with Mansion, because when Stein does battle damage, you get to search out for a Ghostrick spell or trap card and add to your hand. So very good for getting out your defenses. Next, we have 3 Jiangxis. They're one of the main searches of the deck, because when she's flipped face up, for each Ghostrick card for each Ghostrick monster on the field you control, you get to special summon. No, you get to add to your hand from your deck 1 Ghostrick monster with stars equal to or less than the number of Ghostricks on the field when she's flipped face up. So very great for getting out the monsters you need to make your strategy work. Then 2 Mummies, because of its effect of where you get an extra normal son of Ghostrick monster, which can get you an easy Alucard or other such stuff. So very great. And then finally, Crane. You can special summon someone like Mummy or Jiangxi. Its effects are negated, but you can go into an easy Alucard. So very great card. Next is the spells. So the first spell I shall show is Mansion, the most important field spell in my opinion, because monsters in face and defense cannot be attacked, but each player can attack their opponent directly if all their monsters are face and defense. The thing that helps you is that any monster that does battle damage that isn't a Ghostrick monster, the damage gets halved. So very great and helps you out a lot. Next is Parade, which, if you don't have Mansion, can get you Mansion up easily. Does the same as Mansion, except for your opponent takes no damage, the damage is not halved, and when your opponent declares a direct attack, you get to search out for a Ghostrick card and add it to your hand. The beauty of that is, to that attack, you can also change something like Mirror Force, Magic Cylinder, that sort of stuff, to be an added jerk. Next is 2 Swords of Ian Light, because in the lockdown build, this is integral because it will flip your opponent's monsters face down defense position for 2 turns, and then combined with Ghostrick Knight, you will be able to lock down your opponent and generally piss them off. Excuse my French. Next is 2 MSTs, which is pretty much self-explanatory, because let's face it, almost any deck needs MSTs. Come on. It's one of the best cards for destroying spells and traps. And then finally for spells is 2 Pot Dualities. Great for getting resources out, and great in this deck because you won't special summon that much. You'll mostly put yourself on the defensive and special summon only when you've got yourself set up first. So very great cards. Very great card. Next comes the traps. I'll show you 2 Ghostrick Go-Rounds. Great card because their effects are, you can either, once per turn during a battle phase, you can either flip 1 face down defense position monster you control into face up attack position, and then flip 1 face up attack position monster your opponent controls into face down defense position. And then if you have another Ghostrick around, you can then use the other effect, which is flip 1 face up attack position Ghostrick monster you control into face down defense position, and then flip 1 face down defense position monster your opponent controls into face up attack. When used right, and you can use these effects on the same turn because of, if you have 2 copies of this card, because of the rulings, which are very handy and something you can exploit just like that. Very great in a pinch. Next is 2 Ghostrick Knights. Because when used in conjunction with Doll, this card is another key of the lockdown. If you have a Ghostrick monster, if you control a Ghostrick monster, your opponent cannot flip their face down defense position monsters face up for as long as you have the Ghostrick monster, or while this card's on the field. Very great for locking down your opponent, and again, just generally pissing them off. Next, we have 2 Ghostrick Scares. Ghostrick Scare is great for in a pinch if you want to, because you can flip up any number of Ghostrick monsters you control. Their effects will still be activated, thankfully. That's something you can really take advantage of. And then you can flip face down defense position any number of face up monsters your opponent controls to the maximum of the number of Ghostrick monsters you control. So say for example you flipped up 5, you could flip down 5 monsters. Very great card in a pinch. For defense, Mirror Force, while you're not going to need it much with 2 other cards I run, which I'll show you in a minute. Mirror Force is great just simply when you want to clear your opponent's field of those annoying monsters. Transmigration Prophecy, to get back any cards in your graveyard that you've used or been destroyed and you want to get them back to use later. So very great in a pinch, or just when you need your resources back. 2 Spirit Barriers, because Spirit Barrier, when used in conjunction with Ghostrick Mansion, will make you virtually invincible until Spirit Barrier is destroyed. So very great, or unless this card's effect is negated, but that will hardly happen. But still, very great card because you will always have monsters on the field with the Ghostrick's effects. So integral. So I personally think these 2 are integral for defense of the deck. And finally, for a filler, Mask of Restrict, because this card stops it, so it makes it so that neither player can. Hold on. Sorry, I'm confused. Yes, neither player can offer any monsters a tribute no matter what the situation. So not for effects, not for summoning, nothing. So very great. Not even for a cost. And then for side, I have one Warwolf, because Warwolf is a great card to deal some quick damage to your opponent each turn. But I personally didn't need it in this deck. I put it inside because I may use it sometime if I decide to change my strategy. 2 Spectres in my side, because Spectre is the third great hand trap in my opinion. Because if a Ghostrick monster or face-down offensive monster is destroyed by card effect or by battle, you get to special summon this in face-down defense, and then you get to draw 1 card. I sided it because I put Skeleton in, but I may put these in at some point later on. And also then 3 Ghostrick Vanishes, because Vanish is where you can reveal 1 Ghostrick card in your hand, and then Ghostrick monsters you control and face-down defenses monsters you control cannot be destroyed by card effects or targeted by them. So very good. I am thinking of putting this in soon, but I just haven't found the time or the room for it yet. Ghostrick Break, because if a Ghostrick monster is destroyed by battle by card effects, you can activate this card, and then special summon 2 Ghostrick monsters from your deck in graveyard from face-down defense position with different names. So very great for defending yourself in a pinch, especially if you have match on the field. And then last side, Yeti, because Yeti's effect is when this card is flipped face up, you can target 1 Ghostrick monster you control, and that monster cannot be destroyed by battle. No, cannot be destroyed or targeted by card effects. So very great, and with that 2000 defense can be a beastly wall as well if you need it, especially if you've been on level 3. Now for extra deck, I run 3 Doolahans, because Doolahan is one of the powerhouses of the extra deck. It gains 200 attack for each Ghostrick card you control, including itself. So it can get some nasty attack point. And if it's destroyed at all and sent to the graveyard, or just sent if it's sent to the graveyard for no matter what, you can then add 1 Ghostrick card from your graveyard to your hand. So very good for power and for getting a resource back. Next, 2 So Cute bosses, because its effect is nasty. You can detach 1. Oh, I'm my bad. I forgot something with Doolahan. You can also detach 1 material from this card and target 1 monster your opponent controls. That monster's attack is halved for attack and defense is halved for that turn. Very good in a pinch, especially if your opponent's monster is the one attacking. Now back to So Cute boss. Sorry about that. I forgot. Long day. Anyway, So Cute boss effect: detach 1, target 1 monster your opponent controls that has attack equal to or less than the combined attack of all Ghostrick monsters you control, and then destroy it. And then the monster zone that monster card was in cannot be used while you control a face-up Ghostrick card. So very great for shutting down a lot of decks which rely on monster zones, or for just being a douchebag and limiting what your opponent can do. The next 3 Alucards, because Alucard's effect is detach 1 and you can destroy 1 set card your opponent controls. This can be monster, spell, or trap. So very, very annoying. And at a nice 1800, it can be quite a powerhouse. Like Doolahan, if it's sent to the graveyard, you can add 1 Ghostrick card from your graveyard to your hand. So very great for getting resources out. Last for the extra deck, Angel of Mischief, just in the off chance that I've set myself up so I can get an easy victory condition with her effect. Because her effect is, once per turn, you can detach 1 card from this. You can attach 1 card from this material from this card, and you can add 1 Ghostrick spell trap card from your deck to your hand. But I rarely use that effect. It's our secondary effect, which is the best one, because once per turn you can take 1 Ghostrick card in your hands and add it to her as materials. And when she has 10 materials, you automatically win the duel. So very great if you set yourself up for that victory. This has been my Ghostrick deck profile. I hope you enjoy it. Again, this is my opinion. If you have ideas or just anything which can be used and you think I can make this deck better, please let me know in the comments. Again, any negative comments that are rude or just plain insulting straight out will be ignored and or deleted, but I gladly take negative criticism if it is done in a polite way. Thank you for watching, and happy Halloween.